Schmidt. I'm a mortgage agent for the Costa Group. Today we're interviewing Tyler Banham from Hometown Law.
Hi, Bill.
Tyler, how are you today?
Can't complain, Bill. I wish it was warmer.
Yes, unfortunately there's a lot of things we can change in this world, but just not Mother
Nope.
Nature. So Tyler, what made you become a lawyer?
Well, I come from a family of skilled tradesmen and steel workers, and so I'm the first lawyer in my family. I grew up watching shows like Matlock and Barry Mason and thought I'd make a good litigator, but I did litigation for 18 years. And honestly, I prefer helping clients get keys or money when we do real estate law rather than saving them from jail or doing their divorces.
Yeah, that's nice. At least you're dealing with happy clients at that point, right?
It's much easier doing family law when you're single. When you get married, it's much harder helping people get divorced. You know?
Yes. So, that kind of your segue into real estate law is basically your forte.
Yeah.
You also do will and estates
Yeah,
as well?
so I've done residential real estate for 13 years, and we're really proud that Hamilton Spectator voted me the best real estate lawyer in Hamilton for 2018.
Congratulations.
And Hometown Law was voted best real estate law firm for the last 2 years. So we really love what we do. But I also do wills and estates.
Yeah.
I've probably drafted about 7,000 wills in 13 years. And so it's great because we do wills for people, but also when people pass away, we probate and we help administer the estate. So with our practice, we can help people from first-time home buyers, at the start of their buying their first house, and we can be with our clients right to, end of life and helping their family administer their affairs. And we also do corporate law too. So we incorporate, if you're saying a small business, trademarking a name, we also assist with that. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's good. It's so important. And I thought, going into this today is interviewing my real estate agents because we work so closely together.
Yeah.
But there's also the importance of the lawyer.
Yes.
The lawyer is the one that is in the driver's seat and they control what happens and what doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You're the liaison between the lender, the clients, and then we have myself as then put in the back seat and there to communicate with. So I guess as the law perspective, what have you seen lately that has made deals difficult, maybe to go south in the 11th hour?
Yeah. I always say to clients, if you have a good realtor, a good mortgage broker, and a good lawyer, the transaction will go smooth. If one of those three people are not as good at their job, because not all mortgage brokers like you, Bill, are created equally, and not all lawyers like me are created equally. And so if you have someone who doesn't know what they're doing, that can cause a lot of problems. So I'll see sometimes people, they don't realize, like on the mortgage end, to meet with your clients proactively. I have sometimes a mortgage broker thinks that they can sign up their client's mortgage the day before the close. But as you know, once you sign up the client, it goes to an underwriter that reviews everything, and they release something called solicitor instructions to me. That can take 2-3 days. So if you're signing up the day before, we're not closing. Our clients aren't getting their house that next day.
But in some lenders, it goes from back to the underwriter. Then from the underwriter, it has to go to the fulfillment department. And then the fulfillment department is dealing with just from 17 different underwriters. So then there's that big lag. And that's why myself personally as a mortgage broker or mortgage agent likes to try and get all the documentation in up front, get everything set.
That's why I like working with you.
You and I have sent, I don't know how many emails back and forth on every client that we deal with.
Yeah, but you also understand, I think having a real estate lawyer understands the realtor mortgage broker's job, and vice versa. Having a realtor who understands the law end or a mortgage broker who understands the legal end to a degree helps. I'll give you a horror story. I had a client once, they were getting a mortgage from a bank. The bank didn't sign them up in time. The mortgage didn't get funded, and it was a Friday. And the clients had packed up their whole life. They had 2 young kids, a dog. And it was like a Friday night in November a few years ago. And the mortgage rep at the bank said to the clients, well, the lawyer can come in on the weekend and close the transaction. And as you know, the land registry office is only open Monday to Friday. They don't come in on the weekend. No.
I'll
come in on the weekend to save a client's house, or I'll stay past 5 o'clock. But we know at 5 o'clock the portal disappears. So just having that little understanding that, no, it's not about coming in on a weekend or at night, it's about doing when it's open is important. So I find some of my roles also, when I work closely with a realtor or mortgage broker, is letting them know those time constraints. Like I'll do it in a nice way, but saying, look, I would sign the client up on Monday rather than Wednesday if we're closing on Friday. So that's one thing I've seen before.
I like some of your emails to me. What's wrong with your lender? Why haven't I got docs yet?
Well, because until I'll get clients, they'll say, I had one today, so when can we come in to sign? and they're not closing for 2 weeks, and I'll look, well, we don't have your mortgage instructions yet. Oh, we haven't signed our mortgage papers yet. And I'll tell that to clients. We have a handout, but especially first-time home buyers, this is all brand new to them. So I see my role as a lawyer as also helping them. We're holding each other's hands and we're going through this adventure together. That's actually one of the reasons what separates, I find, Hometown Law apart from other firms is we're accessible. My clients can always get a hold of me. I always joke to my clients, if you're having an anxiety attack at 8 o'clock at night over something I don't think you should have an anxiety attack, I will reply to my clients going, it's all good. It's all manageable. I'll call you in the morning.
Yeah.
But if they're stressing over something that I do think, like the basement's flooding during their final inspection, I'll call them right away and we'll problem solve that. But I think you have to be careful when you're working with a lawyer. There's a lot of lawyers that don't meet the client till the day they sign them up. And they sort of have clerks that do that. And clerks are invaluable in our practice. But you're the lawyer for a reason. You should be meeting with the client. Right. The client should be able to call you.
Yeah, and that's what I always try to do is that as soon as the mortgage has been approved, and even though they're not closing for 3 months, I still get them to get in contact with you.
Yes.
I get them to let them know, that you should talk to Tyler, figure everything out from that end. And then once they let me know that, Tyler's our guy, then we can start conversing back and forth and helping each other get the process done for the client. Because they don't even see a lot of that.
No, well, and with first-time home buyers, you and I work really well together. You want them to know all the costs up front. So it's easy for a lawyer to say, I'll do the legal fee $200 cheaper than anyone else in town. But what will happen is the disbursements, meaning their costs, I'll see other lawyers' things, $100 for paper, $100 for postage, when it should be $16 or $8, and that's where they get it back. And so you really have to be careful with transparency. You and I talk about the costs all the time.
Yes.
I talked to a client this morning. She's moving from Stratford to Hamilton. She's buying a retirement community into a retirement community. I said, well, you got to pay land transfer tax. Oh, what is that? And so I went through and went, about $6,000. I heard a gasp. And I said, unfortunately, you have to pay land transfer tax wherever you go in Ontario. It's double in Toronto. But I want them to know that. I want them to have that gasp now rather than the day of close they come in to sign going, what is this $6,000 more? And when we're on, you're dealing with seniors or first-time home buyers, they're on a tight budget. You can't surprise them like that.
No. And I always try to overinflate a little bit.
Yes.
That way, at the end of the day, once they've come to see you, it's like, hey, we've got $200 left over.
Yeah, you
Sweet,
make me look
you
good.
Go out for dinner,
So. Well, and it's good because Hometown Law, we try to be budget friendly. I'm a first generation lawyer, so I remember how my parents had to stretch a check and $1. And so we try to help the client. We make our money, but we don't have to gouge the client, And
well, you're one of the few law firms out there in the market, we'll say the Niagara region, Hamilton, Burlington market, that actually has almost like a business card of pricing.
Yes.
And that's like unforeseen. I remember when I started in this business 17 years ago that, you need to go to your lawyer and figure out your costs.
Yes.
And, someone would come back and say, oh, my lawyer's only going to charge me $1,000.
Yeah.
And then I'd have another client come back to me, oh, my lawyer's going to charge me $8,000.
Yeah.
Starting to do the math and then trying to build relationships, then I realized that, this lawyer over here has included land transfer taxes.
Yes.
This lawyer over here hasn't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, clients are excited about buying a house. They hear one thing and it's the lesser of, and
years
go
deaf. You're right.
And it's like, oh, no, but you said 1,000. Yeah, but there's land transfer taxes.
I think transparency is so key. We have a rate card that shows the fee, the disbursements, how much land transfer tax is based on your purchase price. So I can't put that there, but I always tell the client right off the bat, because if they're not happy with what I'm showing, there's other lawyers I'm sure they can move to. But that way, the worst thing that can happen is you didn't tell me that I have to pay the land registry office this amount. You didn't tell me you have to get title insurance. And so I find that preserves the relationship because Hometown Law is successful because we have clients come back to us. And they only come back to you if they feel they've been treated honestly and fairly, and
plus winning those awards, that says a lot.
That's our clients voting, and it's great to even like little things. Like I would even say to your clients, don't just go on what your recommendation is. Google them, look at their reviews, because I know my clients, they love to do that because you also learn a lot about people by checking out their reviews. And
exactly. Yeah. No, it's great. And, I really appreciate you coming in here today. And being open and like you say, is being transparent about your law firm. I know that you're looking at possibly growing in the future, which is fantastic. Makes it easier for the clients, especially the large geographic area that we deal with.
Yeah, we love one of our things with the Hometown Law is our branches are ground floor. So if people have accessibility issues, they can walk in. We have free parking. And so I think that's key. I was a downtown lawyer for 10 years. My seniors never wanted to go downtown. People didn't want to pay for parking. You know, those are little things that has to be customer service. This is why I like working with the Costa Mortgage Group. It's customers first.
Yeah.
We're trying to help you get from point A to point B.
That's right.
And everyone's happy at the end of the day.
Yep, you're absolutely right. I know when you came in and talked to us that one day, we all had a lot of questions, and you answered them quick. And
well, being a divorce lawyer for 8 years also helps. And I'd actually say it actually helps me in real estate, because sometimes you have relationships break up, they have to sell the house, or someone needs a mortgage and has to work with you to buy out their partner for the thing. And so I find, having been a family law lawyer for a long time, it gives me that unique experience that most real estate lawyers don't have. That these are touchy subjects, and you got to work with them.
And I agree with what you're saying. Like just talking about, it's unfortunate with marital splits, but a lot of the individuals out there don't realize that with Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, Genworth Financial, the ones that actually insure the mortgages, that allow you to go back up to 95% loan to value of the home, as long as you're paying out matrimonial debt and paying out a buyout.
Yes.
So because everybody's gotten so used that you can only refinance up to 80% of the value. Yeah. When you're going through a marital split, it doesn't always work out that way. So this means at least one person can stay in the home, buy out the other, and it's still being insured, and it's a great product. Yeah, it really is. It helps those people go through that.
One of the things mortgage lenders are asking for now with those is a signed separation agreement. Back in the day, and well, not back in the day, still today, a lot of family law lawyers will charge an arm and a leg for a separation agreement. What I do, if the clients know what they want and they're amicable, and it's really just to facilitate the house payout and the mortgages, we do separation agreements for clients that are cost effective, so that their mortgage lender gets a signed separation agreement. It deals with this limited issue. Most oftentimes it's for people who don't have children. So those are a bit more complicated. But I find having that experience just helps the client get that. And we work with the mortgage lender. What do you want to see in terms of language in here?
Well, that's fantastic. Well, again, I know you're a busy man. Your practice is
always
doing
have time
well,
for the Costa Mortgage Group.
No, I really appreciate that. I appreciate you taking the time to come out. And like I've said today, it's becoming a part of the Costa Group Mortgages team. Collectively, you work with all of us here. And again, I really appreciate you coming out and spending some time and chatting with us and our public that are watching.
Thanks for the opportunity. If any of your clients ever need to get a hold of me, they can email me personally at tyler@hometownlaw.ca.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And I want you to sign this basketball to show that you're a part of the team now.
Yeah.
Wherever, what spot, whatever you can.
I'll do my best Kawhi Leonard signature here.
Awesome.
I'll put my number here.
Perfect.
There we go.
All right. Thanks again, Tyler.
Thanks
really
a lot,
appreciate
Bill.
it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay.